I'm Tasha.
And I'm Fallon.
And together, we're the hosts of No Roadmap with Tasha and Fallon.
It's a podcast where two black women have real, random talks.
We cover everything from hobbies to relationships, pop culture, and social issues.
We don't shy away from the tough conversations, but we also like to have fun and be ourselves.
So join us every other Thursday as we share our thoughts, stories, and experiences.
You never know where the conversation might take us, but we promise it will be worth it.
No roadmap, just real random talk.
So what do you say, Tasha? Are you ready to hit record and get started?
Let's do it, Fallon. Let's give the people what they want.
Okay, now you can start.
Thank you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to No Roadmap with Tasha and Fallon. I'm Tasha.
I'm Fallon.
And today we're going to be talking about the importance of friendships.
Right.
Why are they important? Why are good friendships important to have? And why are bad friendships important to have?
Are they what?
Yeah, you don't think having a bad friendship is important?
What would that do for me?
It teaches you lessons.
I don't need another thing in my life to teach me lessons.
Girl, bye. You're right. That's true. I agree with that 100%. But also, like having a bad relationship, you take lessons from them. You learn behaviors you'll accept, behaviors you won't accept, even in friends.
I learned about bad relationships from Savage Garden. The song is called Bad
Alanis
Relationship.
Morissette.
Right. Like, I don't need someone else to be, like, in my space, taking up my time, which is precious.
So you've never had a bad friendship?
I don't know. Give me a second to think about that. Because I was prepared for that question. Mm-hmm. The only friends I think about are the friends I have long-term. I keep them. They're amazing.
Well, listen, friends come for a reason, a season, and a lifetime. Is that what the saying is?
Wait, that's a saying? And
That's
I don't know
saying.
it?
You don't know it? Have you ever heard that saying? No?
No.
It can't. People out there in the podcast world. Oh my
old,
God.
remember.
I'm so
Wait,
telling
so I was
on
looking
myself.
at the stats for our listeners. We skew older. 45 to 60.
45 to 60?
Yep, those are our listeners. We love y'all.
Hey, y'all.
So they get us.
Keep listening. You know why? Because we're old souls. We don't look like we're old souls,
No.
but we're old souls.
Oh,
Yeah, there's a saying that's like, people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. I thought, but you know what? I'll Google it.
Yes, because Google is all.
Yeah.
Until AI takes over.
All right, we'll come back to that.
Come back to that.
But
So what are your bad friendships? Like, tell me a bad friendship.
Like one-sided friendships or people who take advantage of your time and your energy and your resources for their own gain. Or you've never had like...
It's funny. I don't consider those friendships.
Well, they're not friendships now that you have the hindsight to know, but when you were in it, you didn't feel like, okay,
No.
just me.
No, because I had a person like that who was very draining. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, look, I don't even have time for my family. And I can't, at a whim, go out with you all the time. Mm-hmm. And she wrote me a letter that was at least 6 pages.
Front and back. Sorry, that was
Probably. Stop it. In an envelope, sealed. I still have not opened it.
You haven't opened? How
Nope.
long ago did you get this letter?
I was with my husband.
I demand you bring it to the next recording
I
session.
gotta find it. It's in a box somewhere.
Stop it.
It's been like 15 years.
And this letter has remained unopened?
What do I care?
I care.
Because in my chart, just burn it. I don't care. The fact that I didn't burn it is because I'm petty. And like one day I need to like fill my petty pocket and I need to read it and get reassured about my awesome. But
Come on, awesome.
But until that, just throw it. It doesn't matter.
Okay.
It just
That's a
exists.
great mindset to have.
Really?
Yeah, it is. Because I think if it were me, I would have opened the letter, read the letter front and back, like skimmed it, and then like sat down and analyzed it and reanalyzed it, picked it apart. I definitely would have like gotten on their grammar because that's what I do. And
100%
And I'm
red
also
pen?
petty. And I'd be like, you see, this is why we're not friends. Okay? That's why. But yeah,
The thing is, I'm a bridge burner.
Oh.
If I'm done with you,
You're done.
set it on fire, walk away. Maybe use the ashes for something else. It depends on what else I got going on.
Not reuse the ashes.
Of course. Waste not, want not. I might need to make like a paste of some sort for like. Yes.
Jesus. Look, exactly.
You cannot bless someone with the ashes of a burnt friendship.
burnt bridge. Alan said, "You can.
You can.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and I'm gonna whoop you up."
Because the Lord wouldn't want me to stay in that nonsense.
Okay.
No?
I mean, listen, I have gone through my number of friendships. Well, no. See, now I'm about to set myself up to sound worse than I am. I have not gone through a number of friendships, but I have had people who have like come into my life and have been in my life for a certain amount of time, and then for whatever reason, either because we've drifted apart, we've grown apart, because you can drift apart and necessarily grow apart,
right?
If that makes sense.
Yes.
So we've either drifted apart, grown apart, or some incident has happened that has caused me to step back or caused them to step back. And then we no longer talk.
My question is, in the step back, does the other person deserve an explanation? Because
I think it depends on the reason why you stepped back. And maybe the nature of the friendship too.
But who decides that? Like, there was one relationship, one friendship that I valued more than anything, and the other person took such a hardcore step back. I had to hear through multiple people who didn't talk to each other to hear that they didn't want to be my friend anymore.
Do you know why they didn't want to be your friend anymore?
Well, we had a chance to reconnect, and I asked, and I never got a straight answer. And that sits with me.
Isn't that frustrating, though?
So frustrating.
So sometimes maybe not knowing.
It would have been one thing if it was like, okay, I'm disappearing, poof. But it went to their mother, who told my mother, who told my dad. And my parents don't talk anymore. They haven't talked since I was like 11.
Oh, my.
Right. And then it came to me that they didn't want to be my friend anymore.
How old were you?
College.
Oh, gosh.
Yes. That burned me. That sits with me. But I still don't consider it a bad relationship. I don't consider it a bad friendship.
You don't?
I do not.
Even though this person stepped back from you with no
correct
explanation.
No, because the times that were good were great. And I will always remember them, and I will hold that forever in my heart.
And you said you reconnected with this person?
Yeah.
And was this reconnection recent?
Last couple of years.
Oh, wow.
Nothing that we see each other regularly, but we're on, social media together. We see each other's posts, and every once in a while we'll get together. And it's still...
In real time?
Yeah.
Okay.
It still matters to me. And so I don't consider that bad.
Do you feel like it still matters to them?
I don't know. But do I care? Not in a mean way.
Right.
But I can't be concerned with their feelings. I'm not going to impose anymore. I'm going to keep it the way it is. I like the way it is. I'm going to keep those memories. And I'm going to sit with it.
What's your oldest friendship?
Oh. Aside from my family.
Look at me. Alan and I are on the same wavelength.
I love it. My cousins are my oldest friends.
Well, aside from cousins. Because they're inherent friends, right?
No, because some people don't like their family.
But wouldn't you say that your first friendships are your relatives?
Right.
That's what I mean when I say they're inherent.
Okay.
Yeah, they're not that they necessarily last, but...
My oldest friendship is with my friend.
Or longest. Longest.
2003.
Okay.
Maybe 2004.
So 20 years?
20 years, yeah. And I got a cluster of friends in that little space of time.
Was that college for you?
After college.
After college.
It was like 2003 was post-college.
Okay.
It's another story.
That's why we're here. Give me all the stories.
No, that is a whole nother episode.
Oh, my. You said whole nother.
Stop it, Seth!
Seth!
Seth, are you listening?
She said whole nother.
I'm sorry, Scott.
I
hope they're listening.
I hope they're listening too. Hashtag American Son.
Yeah.
Ooh, Jesus. My oldest friendship, my longest friendship is 40 years.
Wow.
We met in 4th grade, became friendly in 5th grade, became really close in 6th grade, and we've been pretty consistently close since then, with like a little occasional here and there, some time apart, but more or less 40 years. And then I have a 30-year friendship with this I call us the triad.
I love it.
Yeah, we're the triad. My yayas from college, and we're celebrating 30 years next month.
That's awesome.
And then I have like these newer friendships that are very endearing to, like, yes, like you,
Yay,
because
me.
you're probably my newest friend.
I love being a new friend.
Excuse me.
I love
Right?
it.
Like, look, oh,
Everyone
you-
says it's hard to make friends after a certain age.
Well, look, my OG BFF, my 40-year best friend, tells me all the time to stop making friends. I think I may have referenced this in
Yes.
an earlier episode, how
Yes.
she's like, you need to stop. We're too old to be making new friends.
Lies.
You're never too old
Never.
to be making new friends. Do you know how important friendships are?
Right.
Has there ever been a time when a friendship has pulled you out of the depths of something
Yeah.
deep, dark?
Right. Because at that point in your time when you're going through something with that friend, they're there to carry you. They're living it with you because they hear the blow by blow
Yeah.
of all the things. You know, one of my best friends. I love trying to figure out what I should and should not say on this because I know the people who are listening.
Oh, I had to get permission. I've gotten permission from all of my friends. I can tell stories as long as they're not too embarrassing. If they are too embarrassing, I have to change names to protect the innocent.
I won't throw out names. I was in a
Hashtag not so
situation.
innocent.
I was in a situation where she told me not to get into because she knew the other person, and I did it anyway because I'm dumb.
I mean,
And she sat with me for every hurdle, every situation, crying. Where
was this a romantic
Yeah.
entanglement? Okay.
and we had to climb in through the kitchen window because we locked ourselves out.
Not the kitchen window.
Yeah, we did. And then the cat got out and it was raining.
Oh,
and
goodness
it was-
gracious.
It was a thing. But she sat on that kitchen floor with me while I cried.
Oh.
And she's the best. And I tend to have my long-term friends. We don't talk regularly.
As you do, right?
But if I show up, if they show up, nothing's changed.
No time has passed.
Ever.
At all.
At
And I
all.
love that. I have friends. I had a conversation just yesterday with a friend of mine from my freshman year in college. So I went to Providence for my freshman year, and then I transferred to Fordham for the rest. And he and I are still friends to this day. I sang at his wedding. I've met his children. He's met my kids. We met each other's spouses. We talk maybe 3 times a year. Maybe 3 times. And that might even be a little generous with life and everything happening. But every time we talk, I swear we pick up where we left off. Where we left off.
You're throwing in language.
I know. Listen,
often.
I'm sounding like my mama.
Love you, Mom.
My mama with her made up words.
It's fine. It's okay.
Goodness gracious, like squeezed. We won't talk about that. And grezed.
I can't
Anyway.
wait. Can you write these down so I remember to talk about them
Squeezed and grezed.
Please, right now,
All right,
since-
real quick. Sidebar. My mom makes up words and she'll say, well, this is how we talk. This is how I learned growing up. I'm from the South. This is what we did. So she'll say something. I'll say, did you squeeze the lemonades fresh? Yeah, I squeezed them. I squeezed them. They're
what?
fresh. I'm like, Mommy, that's not the past tense of squeeze. The past tense of squeeze is squeezed.
Squeezed.
Just at the D. Or she'll say, I'm like, oh gosh, my scalp is dry. She's like, I thought you grezed it. What is
What is
grezed? Greased? Oiled?
Right.
But grezed?
People don't even use greased anymore.
No, because we don't use grease on our hair anymore.
We do not.
But that's my mama.
It's fine. They'll figure it
Ooh,
out.
she'll love it. Those southern conversations.
Did
But
you,
anywho.
Did you grease your daughter's hair? Like, no.
No,
Because her husband, my husband's white. Her hair is not like my hair.
No.
No. I'm like, I put a light leave-in conditioner.
That part.
Right. And a little bit of oil maybe to seal it.
That's it. Just a touch.
A soupçon.
Just a touch.
Bring in
Yeah.
the French. I don't speak French.
Okay. No, that sound like French. That wasn't French.
A soupçon?
Was that wrong?
It is, but
Look,
I don't
see?
speak French.
He's very traveled. He says it is.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. No, you're not. I don't know. I feel like you're so lived.
I feel like I'm more travel-lived than you
Are
are,
you?
Ellen. Oh, yeah. Heck yeah.
Okay, then I don't go anywhere.
I know. Which is another thing.
Episode.
We need to take this on the road.
Oh yeah.
You and me on a cruise. Could you imagine?
Can we do that, Alan?
Can we do that?
Okay.
Oh,
wait,
we got
thank
permission.
you.
We'll go to Bermuda.
Thank you, Bermuda.
It'll be short. We can cruise right out of Jersey.
Yes, I know. I've been.
Oh, I
Love it.
Bermuda.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, we're gonna work that out. We're gonna coordinate some stuff.
Right.
Okay. Awesome.
So friends of mine from the bar.
Coming back to the friends.
Want to do an 80s cruise.
Ooh.
This next one is sold out, but in 2025, March, there's an 80s cruise.
Okay.
We should go. But I also would love to do the Yacht Rock cruise.
Yacht Rock cruise, a New Kids on the Block cruise.
Done.
Don't judge me. I love NKOTB. Okay, because most people don't.
Please don't go.
Oh, come on! That's my
It
jam.
was in my whole world. Joey's not my favorite though. Joey's not my favorite.
Okay, Joe, is that your favorite?
No.
Okay, we'll have to come back to that. Look, see, no roadmap.
Jordan.
Ooh, we've detoured. Really?
Yes.
Okay, we'll come back to that. 'Cause I can talk about New Kids on the Block forever. So,
Friends.
back to the friends. Yeah. So, your friend sat with you on the floor.
Yeah.
You cried together.
I did. No, she didn't cry.
Well, she didn't cry.
She was like, I told you so.
She was like, next time I say something,
Right.
won't you listen?
And I'm like,
Listen
no.
to that ish that I say when I say what I say, because I be knowing.
She does.
See?
But every time I mess up, she was like, I'm here.
I'm here. I'm
Right.
not going to say I told you so, but...
No, she is going to say I told you so.
Is she?
Yes.
Do you mind when friends say I told you
No.
so? No?
No.
Are you the friend that says I told you so?
I try not to say it in those words.
How do you say it?
As per our previous conversation.
Girl, bye.
I'm kidding.
You did not just professional email me on the I told you so.
No. It's like, well, these are our choices. I try to give everyone choices.
Had
These are
you
our options.
just listened.
No, I try not to be that person, but I don't mind being on receiving end.
Had you just listened.
Didn't I tell you?
Didn't I tell you?
On this date, in these words.
Okay. I warned you. See what happens when you don't listen?
Yes. I'm hard-headed. It's fine.
And sometimes we are. And so sometimes you have to learn the life lesson. I can tell you the stove is hot.
Right.
But you have to learn the stove is hot by burning yourself.
Do I, though? That's
No, you don't. And I don't think you should. I think you should listen to me when I warn you and I tell you, don't touch that because that's hot.
I think as...
But some people are those people who...
I think as women, especially in relationships, we're conditioned for some reason. Like, oh, I can be different. I can make it better. It didn't work out with XYZ person, but I can be that someone else. Mm-hmm. And I don't know why we're taught that nonsense.
As women in general? Or as black women?
In general. Mm-hmm. I think, well, oh, I can fix them. I can make it better. It was different because a friend of mine, she wrote an independent play, and she was talking about being with her husband who's married before. Mm-hmm. And they think, oh, well,
we'll be different.
We'll be different.
He'll be different with me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And sometimes it's not a thing.
Sometimes they are who they are.
Right.
Yeah.
And if you're getting the warnings from their family, maybe you should listen.
That's an I told you so moment.
That is an I told you so moment.
Yeah, it is.
And I'm like, you're right.
Girl.
I get it.
Tried to tell you.
I was wrong.
Do you admit you're wrong?
Yes.
So what are some red flags to you? Because you say you don't have bad friendships, right? But
Right.
but there have to be some personality red flags that pop up, even in your good friendships.
You want a lot of my time because I'm me.
You want to monopolize my time?
Right. Do not there's no time for me, never mind, to add you to my mix.
Right.
I've got family, I've got work, I've got my hobbies and whatnot. And then I have the few people I see. I don't even have a few people I see regularly.
No.
My close friends, I haven't sat with in like months at this point.
Yeah.
So if you think you're jumping a line to get before them, that's not a thing.
It's not going to happen, my friend.
So what about you?
So I don't have standing dates. That's a lie. I just lied on the podcast. We don't have standing dates. But like my yaya group, my triad, my yayas. When we go too long without seeing each other, one or all of us at some point would be like, I need some FaceTime.
Okay.
We need to grab a drink. And usually it comes somewhere around the 2-month, 3-month mark. We've gone a while without actually being in each other's presence.
Yes.
My OG BFF will hit me up on occasion and be like, we need to share a meal.
Of course.
We need to catch up.
Great.
I'm going to make myself available.
But you can't do spontaneous things with me.
But, you can't do spontaneous things with me either.
No.
And it used to be because I was a mom of a small child.
Right.
Now it's because I'm just super busy.
Right.
And I'm scheduled up to here.
Exactly.
With stuff. So a lot of times And my friends are the same way. You know, my girlfriend MVB, I call her MVB because she the MVB.
Love it.
Love it. Thank you. She's a mother of two small children, or two young children. They're not small. Two young children. My other girlfriend, RKW, is, you know, she's a workaholic. She's a mom of two. She's a wife. So we have to always sit down and figure out
right
where we're going to fit in. And now we traveled together for the first time with our spouses back in April, and we had a ball.
That's amazing. I miss those days.
Oh, it was so much fun.
Yeah, I need to
and
bring
it was
back.
good for our spouses to see us in an element they had never seen us in before,
Right.
away from stresses of home and kids and schedules, and letting our hair down and just sort of witnessing our dynamic.
Right.
I think it was especially for my husband to see it, because my husband is the type of person who, he makes friends very easily. People love him.
Right.
You know, no matter where he goes, he lights up a room. He's very easy to talk to. He has just this energy that attracts people, but he doesn't maintain friendships.
Oh.
Because...
Well, my husband was like, I don't know if he likes me. And I'm like, he's just cranky. It's fine.
That's what people say to you about your husband.
No.
No, that's
when
what your
my
husband says.
Met your husband.
Oh, my husband?
He was just not in a place to be like, hey, he was pleasant.
Was this at the
Yes,
show?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
He was in his head.
Your husband was.
Your husband.
Yes, my husband was.
He was definitely, I could see it in his face.
He was.
And I was like, this is not him normally.
Funny. We had that conversation earlier this week where I said to him, had he not been sandwiched in, when he came to see American Son, had he not been sandwiched in by my cousins,
right.
he would have gotten up and walked out, because it was just, the topic was just so... he was having a visceral reaction to it.
Right.
And he was just like, you know, if it hadn't been for the fact there were people around me. So I know when he met your husband, he was probably just like, you know, hey, how are you?
Like something.
But
like...
yeah, it was playing on the dome. Because then at one point when we were outside taking pictures, he walked off. And I said, where did he go?
Yeah.
He had to step out. Mm-hmm. He needed to step out. He needed a moment.
Right.
So, but usually he's a very, very kind man.
I love the heck out of him. He's super amazing.
Yeah. So he's great with first impressions. He's great with being around people when he sees them. But like reaching out for people to try to make plans and things, he doesn't do that.
I think there needs to be one person in the situation who is that person.
Well, so he's been blessed to have people in his life who will say to him, he had met his last deployment, he had met a soldier, and they shared a great friendship while they were over there. And she had said to him when he was coming back, he had said, you know, I really enjoyed our time here. And she was like, oh, you're talking like it's over. No, we're friends. We're going to be friends forever. And he was like, no. Listen, it's not you, it's me.
Stop it. It's me.
But I'm the problem, it's me. Right. And she was like, I'm going to prove you wrong.
Oh.
Watch it. And sure enough, she was the one that was like, hey, what are you doing? What's going on? What are you and Tasha getting into this weekend? You know, like she was the one who really kept that friendship going until she passed.
Yeah.
And
she seems like such a special person.
Oh, she was amazing. And she was very, very special to him. Oh. And so I was so happy that when they came back, she was able to really encourage him to be a better friend.
Right.
Like take the time.
Exactly.
Reach out, make a choice, and she did. And he still talks to her family to this day.
Even That's great.
Yeah. So for me, red flags similar to you are people who want to monopolize my time. I have too much going on. You can't.
Right.
That's just not cool. People who make plans and then don't show for those plans or cancel last minute with no consideration for me. That's a red flag to me.
I'm never in that situation because I'm like...
I've been in that situation where we've made plans and like an hour before we're set to meet up, you're canceling.
Yeah, but I'm that person like, oh my gosh, great, I have like time back. I don't see that as
well, you know what? Not that I don't appreciate having my time back, but if I'm looking forward to hanging out with you and this is something that's been on the books for a minute, and you're waiting until we're an hour before we're set to... Yeah, I'm in my feelings about that.
I have a woman I worked with a million years ago, again, pre my husband, and she and I have been trying to get together for like 10 years. And I still don't hold it against her.
Listen,
like,
sometimes it just doesn't work out.
Yeah.
And if it happens once, that's one thing. But when it's consistent behavior...
that doesn't bother me, though.
See, that bothers me.
That I'm just like...
It bothers me because, like I said, I'm always scheduled. I always have something going on. And my life is not my own.
Right,
you understand?
Because
I have
responsibilities.
I have responsibilities. So when I carve out time to hang with you, I want to hang. Like, I'm looking forward to it. I'm always looking for an excuse to get out of this house and do something.
As self-centered as I am, I should care more about that. That doesn't prickle me.
Yeah, no, that bothers me. Or someone who exaggerates the truth.
Have you met me?
Do you exaggerate the truth? Do you exaggerate the truth, or are you
minored in hyperbole?
Bye.
I don't know what you're talking about. When I was in college and I took my psych course, and the professor's like, I'm not supposed to diagnose you, but you were so histrionic.
No.
Yes.
Thank you.
And like, this is who I am. I'm like, I tell a story and it's like Big Fish.
But but there's a difference between being animated and telling a story versus exaggerating a story. Like,
still,
okay.
Do you not know who I am?
All right.
And I've not. No, actually, no. When I tell a story and you try to fact check me, you're like, yes, that actually happened.
And
I just do a good job of telling the story.
So much that it seems unbelievable.
Right.
But lo and behold.
Yeah, lo and behold.
Tis true.
Tis true.
Tis true.
You act like I have my reading glasses on. I don't know what's happening.
he's like, don't worry about it. I got it.
Oh, man. So, you don't like... It's not like it's a blatant lie, though. It's
an exaggeration of the truth.
Right.
But what ends up happening is I don't know what story to believe.
Okay.
Like when you find yourself in a situation, specifically conflict with someone,
right.
and you're telling me what happened,
right.
and this is what I said, and this is what they said, and then I did this, and then they did that, and then you talk to someone who was there, maybe not the person with whom you had the conflict, but someone who was present when the conflict was happening, and they're like, that never happened. No.
I think I take it from a point of view where there are two sides to every story, and I try to gather as much information, and somewhere in the middle is the truth.
Okay.
So the person who is telling you all the things that are crazy and wild, they have a lot of emotion attached to it, and that colors how they tell the story. So being someone who's very emotional,
right,
who lets life color their stories, I'm going to give them a little more leeway.
Okay. That's fair. I never thought of it.
But again, I also burn bridges. So
that part,
and the fact that like I might have had like red flags and I just set them on fire, like because it's kindling.
Because it was a part of the bridge.
It was a part of the bridge.
And now here we go. It's falling down.
It's falling down.
Bye bridge. It's gone. That
like,
part.
I can't even remember the people who I like because you are not taking up space in my brain.
Okay. Well, yeah, I think after a while they don't, but when things happen and they're fresh. I remember once I was unfriended because I didn't go to a friend's wedding.
Ooh.
And I also didn't tell them I wasn't. So I RSVP'd, yes, I was going to go to the wedding.
You were that person.
No. I had every intention on going to the wedding, but I caught strep throat the day before.
Okay, so you were ill.
I was ill, and I reached out the day after. So apologetic. I was so sorry. That was my fault.
Right.
I'll own that. Don't ever speak to me again.
I don't even think I did that to people who didn't actually know. Family that wasn't mine, throw you away. Family that was mine, you're flaky, whatever. I can't think of anybody who was like a friend who did not show up for my wedding.
No,
it was badass.
No, I have no doubt. I have no doubt that your wedding was an event. Yeah. No, she sent me a very terse email. Curt.
I love that word.
Very curt email, and said in no uncertain terms to lose her number.
Wow.
And never ever call her again. And I felt like there was something underlying that. It couldn't have just been that although I didn't know what it could be.
And wouldn't you just love the explanation?
So to circle back to what you were saying before, when you stop speaking to someone, do you want to know, or when someone stops speaking to you, do you want to know why?
But also, I'm a perpetrator of that because they didn't read the letter.
But you're going to bring it next week, and
I'm going to try to find it. It's made how many moves? How many times have I moved since that letter?
I don't know, but you got to find that letter. I need to know what's in the letter. Listen, until I open the letter, it's Schrodinger's cat.
Stop it. It's alive and dead.
It's alive and dead at the same time. I need to know what's in the letter. Thank you, Big Bang Theory.
I love it. I do not love. Okay, speaking of, we're gonna switch gears.
Let's switch.
And we're gonna talk about things we're watching. And Big Bang is not one of them. And I want to know why you love that show.
Big Bang?
Please explain it to me, because I'm the dumb one.
No, I think... Well, one, I really like Jim Parsons.
Okay, I'll give you that.
As an actor.
I'll give you that.
I don't know. I like the humor in it. I love the humor. I love all the character archetypes, and I feel smart when I watch it because I feel like it's an intelligently written, and I don't know if it's because of all the science jargon or I've learned some things watching Big Bang Theory.
I'm sure you have.
I've learned, and I like to learn.
I find it pretentious, and I find it condescending.
It's all of those things. Yes.
And I don't watch television to be looked down on.
I mean, they don't know they're looking down on me. They know they're looking down on someone.
Yeah.
But they don't know that it's me.
But I find, you know what's so funny? Not the majority of people who tell me they like the show, but there's a lot of people who tell me they like that show. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, but do you really get it? That you're a part of the joke.
Mm-hmm.
And not you, but there's some people I've met. And you're like, but you're the person who's like, oh, I love it because it's so smart, but I don't believe in science. And I want to set those people, no, that's violent. I will not choose violence.
We don't choose violence.
I want to set those people aside.
And set them on fire. Do you want them to burn with the bridge?
I was trying not to.
Are you trying to get them to burn with the bridge?
No, I'm like, you don't get it.
So what do you think people don't get?
Like, I don't think they get that those characters... They would never be their friends.
No.
Ever.
No.
They would never even give them time.
They wouldn't look at us. No.
Because they think they're troglodytes, which is my new favorite word.
Okay, yes, please. I don't know what that means. I've never heard it before.
It's like someone who's lowbrow and...
Say it again.
Troglodyte.
Trog?
Trog.
Trog.
Troglodyte.
T-R-O.
No, don't ask me to spell. Okay. That is not my
so
forte.
Not the spell.
That is what the producer is for, and he'll put it in the show notes.
What? His face was like, gag?
He could Google.
That part.
I'm not Googling during recording. I can't spell. I know a lot of words.
Troglodyte.
Troglodyte. I know the root to a lot of words. I cannot spell to say.
And what is that called? The etymology?
Entomology.
Entomology.
Is that the bug one? Etymology versus entomology. Entomology, I think, is bugs. Etymology is word. Google, Alan. Donuts. Entomins. You know, my husband is still sad that the Entomins, they had a center. What is it called? Where you can buy, like, discount stuff from them.
Was that the one on 23?
Yes, and it's not
Is
there
it closed
anymore.
now?
Yes.
No!
So no, like, cheap bread and cookies and donuts.
Oh, no.
Entominsology.
Entomins
give us money.
Your husband was an entomologist.
Oh my gosh, don't tell that man to go to a church or anything, because you had...
Louisiana church cake.
Yes!
On deck.
No, he didn't bring that.
No?
No, it was too much for the people.
Oh,
they got a crumb cake.
Come on, crumb cake. I love a good
crumb cake, though. Delicious. He's usually a cookies or like those mini donut things.
Mm-hmm.
And the bread.
I like the Madeleines.
I've never had their Madeleines.
Yum. They're so good.
I usually get mine from Costco.
They're not as good as Alan's wife's Madeleines because she makes really good ones too. But...
Please make that happen. We'll do a taste test. Can we have a recipe? Like, we'll do like a taste test.
Oh, you don't want to listen. I can sit here and tell you about this woman and how she can feast. That woman cooks her behind off.
She's magical. We're big fans.
We are.
We're
gonna start a club.
Do we get badges?
Yeah.
I'm not paying dues.
And listen, you're gonna be a part of the club. You got to pay the dues.
My dues are I bring food and drink.
Okay, fine. All right, so you're paying something, just not monetary.
Just not monetary.
Fine. So if you're not watching Big Bang, what are you watching?
Ugh. Addicted to Ted Lasso.
Come on, Ted Lasso!
Addicted!
So my cousin says to me, my cousin who, by the way, is an avid fan, hey Pam, is an avid fan of No Roadmap with Tasha and Fallon. Thank you for your support. We love you.
Love you.
Says, I was telling you about Ted Lasso. I was the one that told you about Ted Lasso. That is not factual. I need to fact check that.
Love it. Is that what Alan's like? Alan, have you like double checked?
I need to fact check whether or not Pam Muller was the one who told me about Ted Lasso, but I do know it's just so feel good.
So, rewind.
Mm-hmm.
So, my husband, he's like, oh, Only Murderers in the Building.
Yes! It's back.
We picked it up And he's like, we're watching because you love murder mysteries. The cast is amazing. Great.
And it's about a podcast. Hello.
I made it to episode maybe 4.
And
then Ted Lasso happened, and I'm like, shut up on everything else. And he's like, but you're not the comedy person. The last comedy I felt this way about was Schitt's Creek.
Come on, Schitt's Creek.
Oh, one of the best written shows.
Okay, I have to watch that.
My heart forever and always will be with that show. And I feel Ted Lasso is
right behind it, yeah.
And I'm not a comedy person.
So this is what my cousin was saying when I spoke to her earlier. She said, tell Fallon, who says that she doesn't like how we're opposite sides of the coin. I like the feel good.
Right.
You not so much. She said to tell you to watch From Scratch. Have you seen it?
No.
On Netflix?
No.
It's From Scratch with Zoe Saldana. It's the story of
Saldana,
my apologies.
She threw in the Enye. And I was like, because she's doing that new show with Lioness, whatever, Operation Lioness. It's like a war thing. Okay. And it had the
Saldana.
The tilde.
It's got the...
And I'm like, wait, what? No one told me I was pronouncing her name wrong. She didn't tell us, but now she's telling us. Okay,
fair. Zoe Saldana. Thank you, Zoe Saldana. Every time I say your name, I want to cut. But anyway, so yes, it tells the story about a woman who meets her husband in Italy. They fall in love. They come back to America. He ends up getting cancer.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's a true story. I forget the actress's name who wrote the book that it's based on, but she's a producer of and I believe she handpicked Zoe to play her.
Right.
In the show. Oh, heartstrings.
I don't want heartstrings.
You don't want heartstrings either? Because my cousin felt like, because her husband went through a bout of cancer and she could relate to it very much. And she said it took her a year to sit down and be like, all right, I'm going to watch this show now. I think I'm far enough removed from it that I can watch it and not go into fits of depression. I don't know if that's necessarily true.
Someone write this down on shows we watch and why we watch them as a topic.
Okay. Shows we watch and why we watch them.
Right.
Okay.
Right. All the shows I love get canceled.
Don't you hate that?
Right.
But you know what I hate more? Is I'll watch...
I don't hate things.
I'm sorry.
I wholeheartedly dislike them.
You know what I wholeheartedly dislike more?
Yes. What?
Is when I invest in a show, the first season is amazing, the second season halfway through is really good, and then halfway through second season to the end of the show, 4 seasons later, it's crap, and I can't not watch it because I've committed to it. I'm committed. I'm staying no matter how ridiculous it is.
I would say The Walking Dead, but that was 11 seasons, and it didn't get bad until like season 6.
I just finished watching Manifest, which started on NBC and moved over to Netflix.
Ugh.
Loved the first season.
Really?
Thought it was so great. By the 3rd episode of season 2, I was like, okay, what are y'all doing?
Just burn it down.
Just burn the bridge and leave it back there with the ashes, man. But I couldn't. So you
use
know what
the
I
ashes
did?
for blessings, though. Guys, we need to do a video sometime.
We do!
Hysterical.
Because, oh my God. So I sat and I watched the last 2 seasons for 2 weeks as I sat there admonishing myself.
That's not
What
good.
are you doing, Tasha? What are you doing? You know your mama raised you better than that.
100%.
Did she though? You know why? Because I sat and I watched the whole thing.
Well, she also still watches Young and Restless and Bold and Beautiful.
She sure does.
I'm not mad at that at all.
She sure, and you know what? And
Another
she's proud
episode.
of it.
We'll talk.
What we watching? Why we watch it?
What we watching? Why
Are
we
you
watch
reading
it.
anything?
No, we don't have time for that.
You ain't never lied.
But I am reading something.
What you reading?
It's a book about...
That you don't have time for.
We don't have time for it. It's a book on African witches. This guy that came out of like the woodwork from years ago, which I haven't talked to, and he's like, "Hey, what are you doing? Are you reading this book?" And I'm like, "Well, that's weird. I haven't talked to you in 3 years." But let's talk
thanks. Let's talk about this book.
Let's talk about this book. I'll put it in the show notes. But it was about this young American girl who is albino, and she moves to Africa with her family. I believe it's Nigeria, and she's
Fiction,
a witch.
nonfiction?
Nonfiction.
It's nonfiction, and she's
I'm
a witch.
lying.
Girl, see the hyperbole. And you see how quickly I bought into. Am I the problem?
I told you that I say things with conviction, and
You say it with enough authority, people will buy it.
No,
I bought
it's fiction, and they're making a show out of it. So
Okay.
I'll put it in the show notes.
Who's making the show? Do you know who's picking it up?
I think it's Prime.
Okay.
But I will let you
Love
know
it.
because I can't look it up right now.
Okay.
This
no
wasn't even
problem.
supposed to be part of the show. You
You're right.
distracted
I'm sorry.
me, and now
My
here we
bad.
are.
Here we are. Well, listen, we detoured because that's what we do on
Dude,
No
because
Roadmap
we have no roadmap.
with Tasha and Fallon.
Heard.
But anywho, well, this was great.
This is hysterical.
As always.
Thank y'all so much for listening.
And I hope you got something out of it. Call your best friend you haven't spoken to in the last 3 months and say, hey, boo, I miss you.
And if you go to our link, you have an option of leaving us a voice message.
Really?
Or, yes, you didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, please leave a voice message. There's a little poll on, let us know what did you think about the episode. Leave us all the information.
All the things.
DM us, whatever, because now I'm super into it and I want everyone to see what everyone thinks.
I love that.
If you give a bad opinion, I might edit it. Love you.
Thanks for listening. Until next time.
Until next time.
Be good. Thank you for listening to No Roadmap with Tasha and Fallon. Follow us on IG at No Roadmap Pod. Send us your questions, ideas, and reactions. Tell us all the things because we're going to tell you all the things. Until next time, bye.